welcome to Muddy Puddles. I'm Jo. I sat to the side so that you could enjoy the wonderful view that I enjoy every day. Today has been quite wet, so I've been indoors and I've done a lot of thinking about this season so far. I only started in May and we're now only just in the very first few days of August, but it's been a very steep learning curve and I've had to think about what works and what doesn't. And I've also had a really hard think about what I've enjoyed and what I haven't enjoyed on the smallholding. The main aim of this year is to experiment, explore, and get ready and set up for next year. So I'm going to share my thoughts on the season so far with you.
Oh my gosh, fluffy chicks. Can't go wrong with those. I have really loved and adored hatching all these chicks. I knew I would. I have done it before. I've hatched numerous bird species and I absolutely love the process. There is nothing cuter and more adorable than fluffy little chicks. What I am doing this season is trying out a different breed that I've never kept before, and that would be the Australorps. There they are. And I kept them because research showed they're really good in drought and harsh winter conditions. They were developed in Australia for people that live in the outback with extreme weather conditions. What I didn't include in my research was how friendly they are. And they are a bit flighty. They're not unfriendly, but they're not friendly. They don't want to spend time with you or be your best friend. So that for me is a bit disappointing. This is a Rhode Island red rooster I inherited from my neighbours in the neighbouring farm, and he is gorgeous. He's in a pen on his own to check him out for a few days. He has scaly leg mite, but that will be treated. And then he will have some girls added in with him. The sheep. I imagined I was going to love having the lambs. They are a bit flighty. They escaped. They've been a bit problematic to keep them in for me. And so I'm going to take a little break and reflect on what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to keep them again, but not until I've got some really good infrastructure in place so that I know they'll stay where I want them to stay. The pigs are a joy and a definite favourite. I love them. They will be staying for sure. And I've just recorded today, we're due a storm in the UK, so I have recorded a short video about how I prepared to keep the pigs safe in the windy weather we're about to have. Hi, I'm recording from within the pig ark today. It's so windy outside. There is a storm due in the UK and it starts at the other end of the country, but we are expecting high winds. And last time we had high winds, the pig ark ended up about 20 metres away from where it started and on its roof. Not even in the pig fenced off area. Thank you, Ava. Ava's in here helping me film. I think the reason for that is I took the back of this pig ark off so that in the very hot weather the wind would travel through and create a shaded, cooler environment for them, and so the pig ark was turned so the wind would pass through it. And in the storms I think that's exactly what happened, but as the wind passed through it was so gusty it lifted the whole pig ark. So I have today spent some time, I've turned it so that the wind is coming from behind me. Ava is Ava is like, why are you in my house and why are you not giving me love? Ava! She just is a big bundle of love. She just wants a cuddle and a tummy rub, and she's also wondering why I'm in here with her. I've turned the pig ark so the wind should travel over the top, and arks are shaped this way for that very purpose. So hopefully this time when the winter comes, the storm comes, the pig ark will stay where it's supposed to. I have worked really hard on creating a diverse tapestry of beneficial plants for insects and pollinators, and I have attracted dozens and dozens of bees, different species of bumblebees and honeybees as well. There have been lots of ladybugs all over the farm this season, and hoverflies and lacewings, so I've been really pleased about that. The other thing I have found there are a multitude of spiders of different species and beetles and bugs of all sorts and butterflies. I have made a video mini safari of Muddy Puddles Farm, if anybody wants to see more about that. And just so I thought it couldn't get any better, this little guy showed up in my compost heap. And I'm very thrilled because we all know that toads like to eat slugs. So I created him a lovely little area that he can enjoy. It's his own private swimming pool, so hopefully he will enjoy that and he'll stick around. Now, it's not the only diversity project I have. This one I started 3 years ago. There are, I think, 1,200 trees here, 1,200-ish trees here. They're all native species. They were planted in conjunction with the Woodland Trust. So they gave me a grant that paid partially for this. It still cost me a few £1,000s, but a lot less than it would have had I had to fork out for everything myself. So very grateful to them. And they all arrived as little sticks, and they were about 12 inches off from the ground once they were planted. Oh, Diz had that one knocked down. We'll have to go back up. And they are growing on really well. They started, some of them merging from the tops of their tubes last year. And now most of them are up out of their tubes. I think I was showing how the deer had nibbled the underside and leaves there. The other reason I bought this farm was because of the amazing mature hedgerows that are full of hawthorn, blackthorn, primrose, roses, foxgloves, brambles, ferns, fungi, and more hazel trees. They're really mature. They make a great nesting space for birds. And since I bought the land, I've not had them cut at all. This year's planting has all been about cover crops and preparing for next year to be a big year. I have managed to squeeze in some herbs and other things that I've grown and have had a small harvest, but I'm really looking forward to a bumper year next year. The other thing I've turned my attention to is clarifying in my head how I will make money from my farm next year. And I have an area which is 450 square meters, which is down to a perennial, down to a cover crop at the moment of buckwheat, phacelia, linseed, and vetch. And I have decided to turn this area into a flower farm for next year. So I am really excited. I have so missed my dahlias, my rudbeckia, my echinacea, and all of those amazing perennial plants. Tubers, seeds, and corms have already been ordered to fill this space next year. But that's not the only idea I've had for raising money. This is my catnip harvest, and it's all been dehydrated here, and it's ready to process. Now, I did make a video, but I thought it was rather boring and the sound was not great. So I am giving a voiceover of my footage. The other thing that I was able to procure from the farm next door was a fleece. This is from last year's shearing. It's heavy with lanolin, it's very yellow, and it's very stinky at this point. And from there, I had to clean it. So it went into almost boiling water, and there was a lot of dish soap added to that. And I had to repeat that process 5 times to remove the lanolin. And then after that, it was rinsed really thoroughly in cold water to remove any traces of dish soap and anything left over. There were still traces of seeds and twigs and bits and pieces which needed picking out. Once that was done, the wall looked much cleaner and much fluffier. From there, I got it ready for felting. I inserted some catnip in the center and I felted it. Now, this is why I did not enjoy this process. This needle I'm about to show you has 8 needles and they are all barbed. If you stab yourself with this, it's not like stabbing yourself with a sewing needle. It hurts so much more. And so for that purpose, for that reason, I don't think I'm a great fan of felting, and I don't think it's something I'm going to do very often. So if you do fancy yourself some catnip balls that are completely natural with nothing to process them except for a bit of dish soap, then email me. I'll pop it on the screen. Let me know. That's not the only plan I have. Oh, so there are some of the finished catnip balls. It's not the only plan I have for raising funds this year. I will also have a very few hens for sale at the end of this season once I know how many I have and sort them from the boys. And next year I plan to sell hatching eggs, newly hatched chicks, And for those people who want to have chicks but don't have the facilities, they can have the chicks once they are off heat. And then also later on in the year, I will have point of lay chickens available. So that is my plan for next year. Reflecting on this year, there haven't been very many lows. The thing I haven't enjoyed really have been the sheep, and I think that's lack of experience and not knowing what I was doing and not having the infrastructure in place. I didn't want to put any infrastructure in place until I knew exactly what it is that I wanted to do with the farm. It's a very expensive mistake to put in posts and stock netting and then decide that you're not going to use it. So it's best to know. I don't think the experience has put me off keeping sheep. It's put me off keeping sheep without the correct facilities. So next year, my income stream is mostly going to be flowers and chickens, and the rest of the farm, I think I'm going to run for the sheer joy of running it. Anyway, that's my update so far. It's been lovely chatting to you all, and please like and subscribe if you've enjoyed my video, and I will see you next time on Muddy Puddles.